Mrs. Emerson?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask...
I think your button isn't pushed down. No, on the...
It's on you, Mr. Chair.
There. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Yep, you're on.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask what procedure the teacher might have used, if we know, to obtain approval for the approval of this particular textbook in question. And I also wanted to know if the principal at Independence High School approved this textbook for use.
Thank you, Ms. Emerson.
I've
Dr.
got
Looney,
some
are
other
you able to?
questions too. That's just the first.
That's fine, Ms. Emerson. Dr. Looney, are you able to answer the questions?
Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. The teacher is the individual that came to us with the recommendation to start with,
Okay.
and the principal did as well.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I also have a question for Superintendent of Curriculum, Mr. Gaddis, and I'd like to ask him why this book was approved. I'm sorry, why was this particular textbook approved?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, according to Public Chapter 981, this particular book did not go through a vetting process. As of January 1st of this year, 2015, all textbooks adopted in Tennessee public schools must be historically accurate, unbiased, and at the local level, they must reflect the values of our community. Furthermore, all textbooks that were not previously approved by the Tennessee Textbook Commission must be reviewed and properly vetted to be used in Williamson County and all Tennessee schools. I spoke with one of the textbook commissioners earlier, and I was informed that this textbook was not approved for use in Tennessee schools by the current textbook commission. That being said, it has been noted duly at the work session, and certainly we can do it again, that historical accuracies are involved in this particular. We're not talking about the graphics, we're not talking about the pictures, we're talking about the information that is written in these pages. So I would like to motion that this textbook not be approved for use in Williamson County schools because it is in violation of Chapter 981 and would be a violation of state law.
Okay. Well, we have a motion on the floor, actually, for approval. So we will have to address that motion first.
Thank you.
Dr. Looney, would you like to comment in any way, or?
Well, I'm going to have to refer to legal counsel as it relates to the code. I will say that we followed the process as outlined by this board, and we typically we have not historically had the board approve special courses, but the last textbook cycle, when we had some disagreement about the process, we changed policy and provided you with an outline that you approved of the methodology that we were going to use for textbook selection. So from my perspective, the accuracy and the content of the book was vetted by the public, those individuals that chose to come and review the book and give feedback to the book specifically. Perhaps Mr. Gaddis can shed some additional light. As it relates to the code reference, I would have to rely on either Bill or Mr. Squires or Mr. Golden to give us some input.
Do I push it?
No, you're fine. You're allowed.
So according to the Tennessee Department of Ed and also the State Board of Ed, special courses don't follow the same rules as regular adoptions for the state-recognized courses. So as I mentioned Thursday night, this is the first time we've actually gone through a process like this for the materials used in a special course. Once the state, we apply to the state to be able to offer those special courses, they review those, and at the same time they review what materials we claim we're going to use if the course is approved, and we did receive approval from the state for that.
Thank you, Mr. Gaddis.
My concern with this is that by virtue of the fact that it did not go through the textbook committee that we set up and approved whatnot in the fall, that this sort of bypassed some of those because it is not listed as one of the books that was even up for review on the textbook commission's list.
Well, no, there were
Oh.
no.
Sorry.
There were no art books, there were no special course books listed for review by the Textbook Commission. The Textbook Commission zeroes in on just those, the cyclical texts that they're reviewing. But they don't get involved in the special courses.
Okay. That still alarms me in the sense that it opens the door for books that are not reflective of Tennessee values.
Ms. Emerson, if you'd please address the chair.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm learning.
It's quite all right.
Mr. Chairman, it concerns me that this opens the door for books that are not fully vetted, that the public as a whole is not aware of and able to take note of some of the things that might cause a book not to be respected and valued by our county and certainly by the Tennessee State Legislature. And the thing again that I say, it's not the art. Art is art, and it has nothing to do with the graphics. They are beautiful. My concern is that information in the textbook is written incorrectly. And as a textbook or resource, if it were a picture book and it were just pictures and paintings, that would be one thing. But there's information in there that's going to be read and looked at and taken to be truthful by the students in that class. And my concern is that there are lots of other books that could be approved. Now, with that in mind, the Textbook Commission is meeting again on the 18th and the 28th. And if this teacher has other books that she would like to have reviewed, they can literally be reviewed and approved before the end of the month of September. So if she's interested in doing that, then I think that would be a great resolution. This is not about, this is about what's best for children in Williamson County. And it's important that the things that we allow them to learn and see in textbooks is truth. And if it's not truth, then they're going to see it as the person who's endorsed it as being truth. And I find that problematic. This doesn't happen a lot, but in this case it has, and it's been brought to the attention of the public, and I think it's important that we understand it's not the book itself, it's inherently giving out false, inaccurate, wrong information.
Thank you, Ms. Emerson.